If your closet feels overwhelming, it's not because you have a lot of clothes in your closet. It's actually because you have several versions of you fighting for space and suffocating your closet. This is why you feel disconnected, you feel chaos, and you even feel that overwhelmingness when you get dressed. And today I want to dive a little deeper into the patterns that are actually causing this and how to eliminate them. So, the first pattern is the identity gap. And the identity gap is the disconnect between your old you version of you and the new version of you. The old version of you, those clothes used to work. These are the clothes that kept you safe so you didn't have to stand out. They kept you in a comfort zone that felt palatable to others. And now you're tired of being palatable. You want to break out and you're showing up differently in spaces, personally and professionally. But your closet is still tethered and anchored to your old you. So that's where the struggle comes into when you're trying to get dressed in the morning and why things don't fit or don't seem right when you put them on. And when you look in the mirror, it's just like, ugh, well, I have to put on something. So I just have to throw this together and I have to go out because I got things to do. And as I've always stated, and if you watch my last video of why your closet feels overwhelmed, and I will put it in the card up here below and in the description box below, I talk about how your closet is a mirror. And the mirror that you're seeing is a version of an old you, but not you now. Because how you are now and who you are now has to show up differently and has to dress for who you are today. So I want you to do this little task for me. I want you, when you have time, to go into your closet and look at what you have and what items in your closet currently represent who you were and what clothes represent who you are now. Because it's pretty safe to say that a majority of your clothes represent who you were. Even when you go shopping, you see things that probably your current self would love to buy, but because you're still anchored in who you used to be, you're still buying clothes based on that and filling your closet with stuff based on that and not based on who you are currently today. So next up is the paradox choice. You have too many options. Now this is where it could come into where you say, I have a closet full of clothes and nothing to wear. And that's where a lot of that comes from. We think in theory, having a lot of clothes is the answer to solve our problems, but it's actuality, it's not. I want you to keep in mind, you already have decisions that you already have to make for that particular day or just in general. And the last thing we need to do is to come into your closet every morning or every day to get dressed and have to make another huge decision. And when you begin to let go of everything that's in your closet, one, you'll be able to breathe more. Two, you'll be able to usher in what it is that you have currently, the person that you're trying to build for and create a style for. But most importantly, you'll have choices, because right now, the choices that you have, they don't really go together. Because remember, you have an old version suffocating the new version, but the new version really isn't in there. But with all of these choices, it makes your decision making of what to wear harder. So that's where coming in and actually editing and cleaning out your closet will help you come into play. Once that's done and you begin to build a style that reflects who you are, now you can come in and have the choices that you need to actually have. Here is my rule of thought when it comes to clothes shopping or your closet in general. You should be able to walk into your closet with your eyes closed, pull out whatever it is to make an outfit, and everything goes together. Whether it's pants, whether it's a shirt, whether it's a dress, whether it's a skirt, whether it's a two-piece knit set, whatever it is, everything should be cohesive and everything should go together. That way, it takes out the decision fatigue that you get to where it's 15 minutes before you have to come into your closet and get dressed. You're already trying to think in your head, what the hell am I going to wear? Your decision to get dressed in the morning starts way before you get and open up your closet in the morning. So try to eliminate your choices, and then that will help you with creating outfits with what you have left and truly have what I like to call a shoppable closet. One of my favorites, emotional anchoring. Why are you keeping clothes that you don't wear or you wore it one time? This keeps you anchored in the reflection of the old version of you. And we try to minimize it and say, well, I spent $2,000 on this and I only wore it twice. Or I had this dress when I got my first job. Or this is the outfit that I wore when, I don't know, I went skydiving. Whatever the issue is, because emotions can be a person, place, or thing. And what we have to realize is that the more we hold on to items emotionally, the harder it is, one, to let them go. And even when they begin to fall apart, we still keep them anyway, but they're not serving a purpose. But here's what I want to tell you. You do not need to keep the item to keep the memory. The memory will always be there. The memory, the feeling that you had, all of that isn't going anywhere. All the accomplishments that you've made or that you've had throughout your life, it is not attached to the clothing. It is attached to you. When somebody asks you about your accomplishments, you're not going to say, well, it was this purple dress that I have right here. No, you're going to say, I worked hard. I sacrificed time. I sacrificed friends. I sacrificed, doing the things that I love so I could get here. That is what you're going to talk about. Can you remember it? And even then, you don't need the dress, because you can say, I remember that day. It was like it was yesterday. I had on this purple dress. I had on these black heels. I had on these gold earrings. You can visualize it. The visualization that you had and the feeling and the memory that you have will always be there. But the clothing you have to let go of, because it's going to continue to anchor you to your old version of you. That purple dress served you for a season, but now it's time to let another item serve you to where you are going, to liven you up, to make you the center of attention that you want to be. That is what this is, because we have to change the reflection that we see when we get dressed, and it's our closets, and it is the hugest mirror that we go to every single day. So when you're going through and editing out your closet and looking at pieces, not only asking, yes, this is an old version of me, but also ask yourself, why am I holding on to this? Is it still of value to me today? Because guess what? You can replace it with something else that reflects who you are right now. Everything is replaceable and fixable and figure outable. So letting go of pieces, it's hard. I get it, I know. But sometimes in the release is when what is attracted to you and what is waiting to come to you will come to you once you release what's in this space, and that is your closet. So let's talk about something that you've probably been waiting for, but not in the way that you think. Let's talk about the absence of your style framework. Everything up to this point, this is what causes you not to have your own signature personal style, because of the first 3 patterns that I've discussed, from emotional anchoring, from your identity gap between your who you used to be and who you are now. Because of all of this, this causes you to disconnect from even creating or thinking about what type of style it is that represents who you are. You have pieces currently right now that are fighting for space. And your shopping habits also reflect it as well. Because when you go out, you're buying things on impulse. You're buying things because you think it feels right. You're buying things based on an old version of you. It could be any 5011 versions of you up to this that you've been through up to this point. But you've never sat down to truly think about who it is you're dressing for now. And here's an easy framework that you can kind of do that makes this a little easier, because I want you to remember this. Creating and developing your style is a marathon and not a sprint. But there are some foundations that I think we've gotten away from that we need to come back to so that we can always build a style and you always have something to wear. And that is your wardrobe basics and essentials. I like to call them the boring stuff. But this is a strong foundation that you have, that as you evolve and change with life, these will never change. So these are your, I like to call, your black pants, your white tees, your button downs. These are the things that every wardrobe needs to build upon. But then I have a second part of the framework that I also like to call, what I like to call your required essential pieces for your wardrobe. This is where you kind of get to have fun. This is where you get to begin to incorporate things that you've wanted to try. So, for example, I might say I need to have graphic tees as part of my wardrobe essentials. So I'm going to have a few graphic t-shirts. With these graphic t-shirts, guess what? I can also pair them with the wardrobe essentials that we're always known, that we've always been told to have. These two essentials that I like to have, they're able to you'll be able to create outfits with these pieces. It will get you comfortable with figuring out what goes with what, having a closet to where you can come in, close your eyes, pick out whatever, and walk out the door. This is your foundation. Once you have the foundation down, now you can build upon and think about what it is your actual style is. But without a solid foundation and a framework and doing the work prior to this to get you here, you will always be on this hamster wheel of coming back to, I don't have anything to wear. Even if you get rid of all the old versions of you when you're editing and cleaning out your closet, your foundation will always stand the test of time. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want to say. We need to build a foundation for your wardrobe that will always stand the test of time. So no matter what, you will always be able to come into your closet and say, I have a closet full of clothes with something to wear. About the last pattern, and that's isolation. You have created a life, a business, and a career with advisors, with coaches, with mentors, and people that you have collaborated with along the way. But you don't do that or think or consider doing that when it comes to your styling closet. You think that once you get to that certain level, that somehow miraculously your style is going to be there. But that is not the case. You currently right now have an identity gap in your closet that is pulling you further and further away from the person that you are evolving to. And until that catches up, your style catches up to this, you will always be in this messy middle part. And that is where I come in. I want you to think of me as your closet's BFF. And this is why I created the Virtual Closet Edit VIP Day. I designed this specifically for women who have evolved from who they used to be and now are ready for their wardrobe to catch up. During our time together, we will just work on three things. One, discussing and talking about how you see your style visually. Two, edit down your closet to what can actually help support you. And three, lay the foundation that will ultimately support your ultimate style vision. I invite you to click the link in the description of this video to learn more about the Closet Edit VIP Day and to schedule your sales call today. Your closet is more than a place where you just store your clothes. It's actually a mirror. It is a reflection of how you see yourself. And when you come into your space and it feels overwhelming or it feels chaotic, or even if you feel like you have a closet full of clothes, you have absolutely nothing to wear, I want you to take that as a signal of your growth and that your closet is screaming at you that it is time for your closet to catch up to who you were. And most importantly, I want you to remember growth is more about aligning with who you are now and not who you used to be.